Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizka Purnamasari, and here I will explain about the other factor that contribute to language shift. And the first factor is social factor. In social factor, there is community and socialization, influence family and community, urbanization and migration, social and economic status, prestige of dominant language, and access to education and employment. And here are some example about social factor. Influence of family. Primary language socialization. Family is often the first place where language socialization occurs. Parents and other caregivers typically teach their children first language, setting the foundation for their linguistic identity. However, if parents prioritize a dominant language over the heritage language, children may grow up with limited ability in the heritage language, starting the shift process. And the second is language choice in home. Family may choose to use the dominant language at home to provide children with better educational and career prospects, to help them integrate more easily into the society around them. For instance, in immigrant family, parents may favor the host country language for their children are better equipped for social and school interaction. And the second is political factor. Official language police higher status. The official language is often seen as more prestigious and is needed from jobs, education, and government service. This pressure people to prioritize and political factor. Official language policies higher status. The official language is often seen as more prestigious and more for needed jobs, education, and government service. This pressures people to prioritize it over minority language. Exclusion when minority language aren't recognized officially, they often exclude from public life, making people less likely to use them. An education system focus on the official language. School usually teach only in the official language, which can lead children to lose fluency their minority language and lack of bilingual option. With bilingual option education, children may grow up using the official language more, which accelerates language shift. Economic factor, especially urbanization, play a major role in language shift. Urbanization, the movement of language from rural areas to city from often leads to increased use the dominant language and a decline in minority language. Here's how: employment opportunity. City typically offer more job opportunity, but this job often require proficiency in the dominant language. To success, the people moving to urban areas may prioritize learning to using the dominant language, which they may even start using at home. The second is social networks in city. In urban area, people often interact with a more linguistically diverse population, where the dominant language becomes the common means of communication. This makes it easier to find jobs, make friends, and access service, leading individual to rely more the dominant language and less on their minority language. And the educational factor that marginalized minority language contribute to language shift in several ways. Lack of minority language education. When school doesn't teach or support minority language, students are less likely to learn, maintain them. Monolingual instruction. Teaching only the dominant language makes it difficult for minority language speakers to success, leading them to adopt dominant language. Limited bilingual program. Without bilingual education, children lose fluency in their heritage language. And the cultural factor, like media entertainment, technology, and significantly influence that language shift by shaping language preference and exposure. Media, dominant language media like TV, news, movie, and online content is wide accessible, often using minority language into the background. People are more likely to adopt the dominant language when it's the primary in media. Entertainment, popular culture, including music, film, and social media is mostly produced in the dominant language. As younger generation consume entertainment in the dominant language, they become more likely to use it in daily life. And the technology factor is a major role in language shift. particularly through the dominance of major language online and media like online content. The major of content internet website, social media, online news is produced in dominant language, especially in English or Spanish. This makes this language more visible and accessible, encouraging people to use them in their daily life, especially for information and communication. And social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram operate primarily dominant language. The global nature of social media foster communication in this language, pushing minority language speakers to adopt the dominant language for wider social interaction. And the impact from language shift is can have profound impact, particularly on cultural and community identity, and even affect the knowledge of language like English. Here's the break of impacts: loss of language cultural identity. When a community shifts away from its native language, it often leads to the loss of traditional knowledge, expression, and value tied to that language. Language is a key part of cultural identity, and its loss can make individuals feel disconnected from their heritage and history, erosion, and community identity. Language central to conception as community, safe in the dominant language, to unique identity may weaken to share the cultural practice, storytelling, and tradition that rely on native language can diminish, leaving community lies unified. And the last is decline in English knowledge. In some case, the decline of a minority language can lead erosion proficiency in the other language, including English. And the last, decline in English knowledge. In some access, decline of a minority language can lead to erosion of proficiency in other language, including English. For example, if a minority group stop speaking their language at home and focus on the dominant language, children might lose proficiency in both their heritage language and English, limiting their linguistic and cultural adaptability. And the conclusion, it can be concluded that the shift minority language occurs due to several main factors, namely education and technology and education system that marginalize minority language through the language of instruction, unsupportive curriculum, and lack of access to learning material in language accelerates the loss of use to mother tongue. Technology and social media also play a big role, where the dominant of the majority language in the digital world, the lack of technological support of minority language make the younger generation use their mother tongue less and less. And that's all my explanation about the factor that eh, that factor contributing to language save. I think it's all enough. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And that's all my explanation about the factor contributing to language save. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All my explanation about factor that contributing to language shift. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.